Welcome everyone to Young Love. I am your host, Jay Paddle, also known as Jay, and I'm joined by my other
Beefcake.
co-host, also known as
Beefcake.
Nick. Yes. So, a little bit of introduction for myself. I've been around the community for about 4 years now. I got into Chase. I had some personal struggles I was dealing with, and I got into the community about 4.5 years ago, and it was quite a ride up until now. Outside of the community, though, I'm a software engineer, and then inside the community, I'm also a mod on Discord. And then Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
I found Chase maybe about almost a year ago now. I've basically the same thing, kind of running through some struggles in my life, and as most people looking into this science, I am in construction, and I am currently a community leader in the Discord community. So
Awesome. So before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to Chase. Thank you for letting us use your YouTube channel as real estate. It's awesome. Also, huge shout out to Steph and the Sexuality Sig on Discord. They basically planned the whole thing and they put in a lot of effort for this event. So please give them their recognition. And also, huge shout out to the Discord server in general. If you guys aren't there, there's probably a link down in the description that you guys can join. If you guys aren't already there, as Chase would say, what are you doing? Just get in there.
what are you doing with your life? Yeah.
Exactly. And also, I have one more thing to show, and it is actually Ucha related. So I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Project Peanut Butter.
Project Peanut Butter, yes, that is what this is. So I'm gonna share my screen. All right, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is our new feature on Ucha. Our devs have been working very hard to get this to you guys. So this is our new puzzle category in the Ucha app. So basically there's going to be a text here and you will be able to type whoever the target is. And basically, this works just like the normal type grid. So if I think this person's fire and wind, spear and bow, direct, responding, abstract, I think they're an INTJ, I can submit. It tells me if I'm wrong or right, and it also tells me my ELO and my score, the rating of the puzzle.
Bro, you got ELO?
All these stats.
wow.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So this is going to
Man,
be
this
really
is
helpful
sick.
for the community because we can all stop being trash together. So,
I like the sound of that.
Hey yo.
exactly. All right. So that's
Did you work
that.
on this, Jay?
That I will neither confirm or deny.
Top secret.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Well, that's to whoever programmed it. Solid work.
Yes.
That looks really cool.
All right. So now we can get started with the show. So what are we doing here? What is Young Love? So Young Love, first we're gonna have to describe what Jungian sexuality is. What does our SIG do on the Discord server? Jungian sexuality is a praxeology. It's an ongoing study of the actions and conduct that shape intersexual relationship dynamics. It's a comprehensive examination of the perspectives which affect human relationships within several paradigms, including but not limited to Jungian psychology, biology, anthropology, history, law, and case study. Now, one thing to keep in mind is whatever we cover here, whatever Chase has covered in the past regarding sexuality, it's not red pill, it's not any purple pill, it's no pills. We aren't taking pills here. Red pill is incomplete and it doesn't account for masculine idealism, which Chase has mentioned before. And masculine idealism is the source of love and responsibility in a sexual relationship from a man. So just keep that in mind. That is a very important point that makes a big differentiator between Chase's content and any other pills that we're talking about.
This isn't a farm.
To basically give you a heads up how the show is going to run, we're going to introduce our contestants and then we're going to, as far as the host is concerned, me and Jay are going to kind of drive the conversation, get everything started, make sure there's no hardcore drama. And we're going to ask a few questions between both our men and our women, our men and our female participant. And we're going to be assessing, they're going to see how they assess each other for a relationship. And we want that, we're doing that so you can see this live, how this is going to work between our male contestants and our female contestant. And the men are going to be judging our females' perception. And Miss Kia, as we're going to introduce her in a second, she's going to be receiving the male's judgment. So, and without further ado, we'll go ahead and introduce Miss Kia, lovely Miss Kia here. She's 21. She's from Bangladesh. She is an INTJ. She got into CSJ's work when another INTJ friend introduced her. She likes reading nonfiction. She does want to be a mother someday, enjoys yoga, meditation, and when no one's looking, her favorite thing to do is dance to Radar by Britney Spears.
It's a good one.
In Bangladesh culture, they're very family oriented, and the women are very devoted to being service of the family. So that's something key to remember, fellas.
All right. Awesome. So we're now gonna introduce our men, our amazing, handsome men. So I'm just gonna go one by one, so we can start off with Harry.
Hi, my name's Harry. I'm 21 years old. Let's see. I live in the United States in Minnesota. I am an INTP, currently subconscious developed, subconscious focused. I got into CSJ because I was trying to figure out just why people do the things they do. I used to be a huge Jordan Peterson fan, and I eventually stumbled across C.S. Joseph, and I knew, damn, this is where I need to be. This guy's got something going on. I need to figure out what's going on here. Something that I wish like maybe people knew about my type. I don't know, just like I like the idea of like people all the time, like they say things about other people and they have all these ideas about what other people are. I like verifying things those for myself, because as you can learn quickly that other people are pretty biased and stuff. So got to verify things for yourself. And then one thing I love about myself would have to be, I love that I'm never going to give up. No matter how hard it gets or whatever, I got anti-critic, and that's the only thing I want, is to never give up and keep going on. So thank you for listening.
Nice. End of that.
All right, Jimmy, your turn.
So yeah, I'm Jimmy. I'm from Chicago, and I found CSJ. Okay, so I've always kind of was into MBTI. I took the test, INTP. I thought it was really cool, but then like as this like I was like discovering a little more about it, I realized it wasn't really like a real thing. There was like no like everything about it. It was like CSJ later says just a test. I kind of like found out there's no substance to it, so I kind of got over it. But later on, I took the test again, got INFP, and it was just like a fun like thing I was exploring. Then randomly on my ETC, like an MBTI thing, it was some INFJ guy, and he was talking about introverted intuition, extroverted intuition. And he talked about the existence of cognitive functions. That really interested me. I was like, well, wow, I really like this. Sounds cool. I really want to like just like learn more about it. Like not really like besides like service level, like nothing else. And then I Googled cognitive functions. CSJ first one popped up. Started watching his videos just like to learn about all the cognitive functions. It was kind of like fascinated me. Like I just started learning about all his like the personalities under him, and it was just like I kind of realized there was a lot of truth, like logic towers, like there's a lot of wisdom he had, and that's like how I kind of got hooked.
Yeah.
Nice.
Similar story to mine.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, you're up.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I am obviously Harry's twin brother. I'm also 21.
I couldn't tell.
I also live in Minnesota. Luckily, my type is not the same, or so we think. I have not been officially typed. I originally thought I was an INFP. I thought I was a cool guy, but everyone says I'm an ISFJ, so it's probably true.
Yeah, maybe maybe the crowd can type you while we hear
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, that sounded like the
That
most
would be
TE
cool.
inferior level of logic. Everyone says I am. It should be true.
Mhm.
Ah, there you go. Well, anyways, well, hopefully I'm actually an SI user. That would be kind of a. Oh well. Anyways, so I got
You
into.
are.
Okay, good. So yeah, I got into CS Joseph because of Harry. He's like, yo, check this guy out. He knows what he's talking about. And I was like, But yeah, I think it's a lot of it's true for sure. So that was cool. And then for the question of one thing people should know about my type, well, I don't know if I can even answer that because I don't know what type I am. So maybe I'll just say Harry had a really good response, and don't just assume people are this certain way because everybody's different still. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one thing I love about myself, I love that I love getting stuff done. I feel so satisfied, and if I don't get something done, then I feel terrible, and I think that's very helpful for me in achieving my goals.
That is very responsible.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, Sam. Last but not least.
Hello, my name is Samwise. I am 22 and a half. I live in Indiana, in the United States, and what else I got? I'm not the only person with a whiteboard around here because, CS Joseph podcast, we are all required to have a whiteboard around.
Exactly.
I'm one of his co-hosts. I'm a mod on the Discord, and I'm a lead operator in a factory. Something
Ooh,
about INTPs. We aren't all pussies.
Oh, God.
Facts.
That's true. I respect
And
that.
a couple things I like about myself, love about myself, is I'm really far ahead compared to where I should be. I'm about to own this house in about 2-3 weeks time.
Hell yeah.
Sheesh.
I got plans and
Nice.
ambitions when it's like most people I know really don't have any. But that's second to one thing. My beard.
All right.
And the look.
All right. All right, so now we are gonna get started with the show. Hope you guys are excited.
Oh yeah.
Beefcake,
Strap in.
if you want, can you go ahead and ask? So what we're gonna do is how this is gonna work is we're gonna alternate. We're gonna alternate between the men. We're gonna alternate between the women. We're gonna ask questions one at a time, and after we ask those questions, said person or people are going to respond, and the floor will be open. So we want this to be an open discussion kind of thing. So if you guys feel like you have something to say, go for it. Don't be afraid. We're all in, okay? Me and Beefcake are just here to facilitate the conversation.
Let's start with a hot one. Jay?
Of course.
All right, fellas.
What else are we here
All
for?
right, fellas. Does the body count actually matter? Let's go. Who wants to start?
I mean,
Yeah. It does.
I think
It does matter.
Like, it depends on who you are, like your perception of it. Like actually, so yeah, I feel like people do like judge you if you don't have like a high enough body count or whatever. But at least for guys. But at the same time, like I don't think no one really cares. Like,
All right, and then what about for women?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like
Let's
it depends.
go.
Like, it depends on like how. Like, is she like? Would you consider like is she sleeping around with like everyone? Like, does she have standards? Like, I don't think like if she's like sleeps with like people that she's serious about or like like a couple like one night stands like or whatever. I don't think it's like that. I don't think that's big of a deal.
Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it is important that a woman has like not very many not a very high body count, and that's because studies show that as the body count gets higher, so does the likelihood that any marriage they end up in will lead in divorce.
What do we-
Divorce. So
What do we consider a high body count? Like,
That's subjective.
That's also a good question.
yeah,
isn't it an objective
Like-
thing?
probably like more
Over
than
3?
5, or even over 3.
Well, usually the stat that Harry mentioned, it starts to like grow exponentially, not exponentially, but it starts to grow faster after 2. So
Like one of these.
Oh really? Okay.
yeah.
So yeah. Just gotta be careful if you're a woman.
I mean,
You know.
How many graphs are there that talk?
Also kind of change depending on what kind of type the woman has and also their cognitive development. So maybe kind of like judge person to person, you know?
For sure.
I like what I like.
What do you like, Sam?
Yeah,
Come
what's
on,
that mean?
go with it, bro.
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a statistic thing where it's like it does become unlikely, but it's also one of those things where it's like, I want to verify for myself. Like if I'm like, oh, this person's cool. Oh, they fulfill my needs and
Gotcha.
standards, boundaries, goals, etc. I don't see a problem.
All right. Well, we have one person who hasn't spoken yet. Charlie, what are you thinking? What's going on in your brain?
Not much, no. I was still thinking about when Beefcake said, let's start with the hot one, and I was thinking, you mean Jay, but whatever.
Yeah, of course.
I think,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. No, I think body count does matter. I think your value goes way up if you have a lower body count. If you're a woman, I like how I say women plural, but whatever. If you're a man, I don't think it matters as much. I think it matters more how successful you are. But I guess, yeah, that's my thought.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, moving on.
You guys think body count is a primary or secondary concern?
Secondary on my end.
Well, what would if body count is secondary? What would be primary?
Chemistry. You're like attracted to her.
We need a spider graph. We need all our
Yeah,
I'm like
attributes
going
laid
off
out.
my experience. I kind of want to hear everyone else's if like they agree or.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Man, I need to get some glasses back on because I'm about to say personality.
I mean, generalizations at the end of the day will always be generalizations, right? But they are worth considering and taking into account when making decisions. So you gotta, like Sam said, you gotta like decide for yourself when on each specific situation. You have to pretend to be interest. But I think like reading The Rational Male and those books can give you a good understanding of like first principles of how gender dynamics works. And I think if you understand that well enough, you have a lot better capability at predicting how future relationships will end up, regardless of stats and stuff. And I think you'd be able to determine potentially whether a woman would be faithful regardless of her body count. But I think if like I'm giving general advice to women, like watch your body count, make sure you're committing to people that you actually want to be with and not just anyone, right?
Yeah.
So
There's no benefit to a high body count. Let's put it that way.
Kia,
exactly.
did you have something to interject there? Kia?
Yes, I did, but I forgot. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
No,
It's
you're
all good.
fine. I do that all the
Demon
time.
activities.
Yep.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, me too.
It's so annoying. Then like after this call, after everything's over, and it's gonna remember and be like, "Fuck."
Exactly.
That's how it works.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. All right, Miss Kia. Another hot one. Okay, ready? What do you think is better? What do you think is better? A nice guy or an asshole?
Answer correctly.
In my opinion, I would judge by person to person because both the nice guy archetype and the asshole archetypes, they both have their advantages and benefits and mostly positive characteristics. So it really depends on who is in front of me.
Gotcha. So that person who's in front of you, are you looking for both? Are you looking for neither? Are you looking for? And when you mentioned positive, like what is positive about each one, each archetype that you're mentioning?
Right. So positive characteristics of the both archetypes would be, well, an asshole would be dominant. He would have leadership qualities, and it would be easier to submit to him or just to listen to him, right? And
Right.
then the nice guy would be more compassionate, would be more forgiving, and he would just it would be easier to, well, kind of get closer, or like it would be easier to pair bond. Now which one I would prefer more? I would want that my man to practice both of these archetypes when suited in like certain situations, like whatever he has to be in that
Right.
situation.
Okay.
I would just get to that.
Gotcha. That was a great way to answer my loaded question. But
Yeah, I was gonna say safe response.
Well, there's like
however,
Yes.
there's a current thing among a bunch of women that vulnerability is important. That's the reason we asked that question.
right. However, if you were to pick generally, like, because there's primaries and secondaries everywhere in life. So you had to pick a primary behavior or primary archetype. The secondary would come out. It would come out sometimes, but not all the time. So which one would you pick as your primary?
My primary would be the nice guy, and then
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
everybody is a nice guy here.
Of course, Chase kind of brought that up in some of his content that and I don't know if it's cutting edge or whatnot, but being 60% alpha, 40% beta, and that's kind of what sounds like we're talking about, but
Right.
sounds like maybe.
Yes, Chase does think
Yeah.
that the alpha traits should be primary and the beta traits should be secondary, which is what Ms. Kia is referring to when we were talking about the asshole and the nice guy archetype. So,
Well, it's a schedule, right? So girls typically like going on like a roll of Tomosity. It's a schedule where in the beginning like they want the male seed, right? The alpha archetype, and then later on as they get older, that's when they get that's when they get that's when they want the beta or the provider, So I'm like, yeah, it'd be like, it's interesting that you prefer, you're really young, so you prefer the provider. I think that's what you guys meant by it's different by what Chase said, right? Because everything else seems like she.
Miss Kia, we can't hear you. Sorry.
So like my preference for that would like the answer to that would kind of lie in my nurture. I've seen a lot of arranged marriages in my culture and in my family, and they mostly or primarily take into consideration about the providing aspects of the man. So that is what I've been taught, and I do agree with it because in the structure that I grew up in, men are kind of raised in a kind of structure that just automatically makes them more masculine. So that is something I necessarily don't have to worry about,
right.
Okay.
The other thing that too is Crusader men tend to lean on the beta side, and then that's NTP,
Yeah.
NTJ compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I feel like you say nice guy because you want a guy who's nice to you, but you don't want a guy who's so nice that he'll just keel over at any other person like stepping on them. So
Right. Well, we mentioned the
Gotta be
alpha
careful.
side will come out as need be.
Yeah, she said how
Tokyo definition of the nice guy, you can kind of like push around and he'll listen to you. That is not what I'm referring to. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, she's looking for the sweetheart in you.
Looking for a sweetheart, but
Let's
was it a
go.
warrior, a gardener, and a warrior in a garden, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can tend to the garden. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go. That's what I wanted.
Hey.
All right, Beefcake. On to the next question.
All right, guys. Yo. So let's go with something kind of about you rather than the opposite sex. How are you esteeming yourself? How are you building your king archetype? King, warrior, magician, lover talks about becoming a king, and we know that's you. Chase has his content in season 6 talks about esteeming yourself. How are you doing that currently? And we can go one at a time. Let's start with Harry first.
Yeah. I'm in my final semester of college right now. Going to major in aerospace engineering. hopefully get a nice job. I'm gonna be debt free, so that's gonna be pretty sweet. Yeah, and then I'll just I'll go wherever my job takes me, travel a bit, have a lot of fun with it. You know, I really like my major. I like a lot of stuff going on, and that is mainly how I'm planning on building my king archetype at the moment.
So when you say you have to travel, how is that going to affect? Like, if you were to get in a relationship, how would that affect? Would you expect your woman to?
So let's say, yeah, okay. So if I get into a relationship where I'm at, and then I have to go across the country, I am not a big fan of long distance relationships. So unless we had some plan of in the future, like foreseeable future, maybe even like 1 year max or something, maybe 2 years, where we'd get back together again. Maybe they move out with me. Maybe my job is moving me out somewhere else and they'll come join me or whatever. Then I'd be okay with it. But it'd probably end the relationship, most likely.
All right, Jimmy, how about you? How are you esteeming yourself? How are you building your king archetype?
Well, I'm currently, like, is first, like, having like a sense of responsibility. I feel like, well, yeah, it's like about like in the king archetype, like owning your own house, providing or generating more than you consume, like taking care of your, like, I think the first thing you have to get with that is like you have to like develop a sense of responsibility and character, as like you have to like act like the king also. But also, like, I've been, like studying copywriting, like funnel building, like reading all of Russell Brunson's books, reading like on a copywriting server, like just learning about shit, kind of like, like as like my plan a little bit. But
Gotcha.
yeah, so I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought. But
It's okay.
yeah.
So esteeming yourself through you're working through some copyright stuff. You're trying to grow in that area. Are you planning on doing that for a living, or?
Yeah, that's the plan right now. So I want to be like a funnel builder, like, or a consultant. So like people who have businesses or whatever, they're gonna be in a certain like stage of their selling. Like, do they have a list yet? Do they have, or maybe they're like their funnel like ladders like currently like really good, where they're like they have a product they're selling it, that it's converting, but then it's like they're ready to go to the next step, like they can add like another step. So it's just like kind of like figuring out all the different stages a business can be in, and then they'll hire me, and like I can see where they're at and like know where they want to be at. I can be like, okay, this is the next step, or like like shit like that.
And kind of like add on to that, how would a relationship fit into that? Because it sounds like maybe you'll be doing some traveling as well. What are your thoughts on that?
If I do traveling, I'd probably be it wouldn't be that, like, it wouldn't be too long. Like at most maybe like a week. I'll be like at a different company, like helping out, because like now everything's like going on Zoom online anyways. So first of all, if I'm getting flown out there, it's gonna be like by a big company. So I'm gonna have like I'm gonna have money, and besides, like they can come with me unless like she has a kid. But in the scenario of like, okay, I'm married, she has a kid, she has to stay with the kid, and I'm like traveling like a couple times a month for like, or like a week a month, let's say, like in total. I don't think it's that bad. Like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but also like it's not really I wouldn't consider it a long distance relationship, and it's like it's part of the job. You're putting food on the table. It kind of fits into like the king archetype. Like, this is like, it could be your ambition, like, your frame, right? Like, okay, if this is like your part of your frame, like should follow your lead. But
Right.
All right.
yeah.
How about you, Charlie?
I'm
How are you esteeming yourself?
Yeah, I'm a data engineer. I have a job, full-time job, so that's
Oh,
helpful.
nice.
I guess you're talking about all the books you read. I have not read probably as many as you, but I've read like Deep Nutrition. So I eat pretty healthy. Like I haven't eaten sugar in like 7 months.
Added sugar.
Added.
Yeah.
Sorry. That is a good. That is a good.
So you still
point.
eat
Added
carbs and
sugar.
stuff, right? You're not doing keto?
No, I'm not doing keto.
Okay.
So how is that helping you build your king archetype?
Well, I think keeping your genes healthy is pretty good. But yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have my own goals and I'm pursuing them. And one day when I complete some of them, I'll be very happy.
So what are those goals?
Um, one of my goals.
Be vulnerable, Charlie. Be
All
vulnerable.
right. One of my goals
Yeah.
is to write a really famous book, but not reveal it's me. That's
Okay.
I read like a ton of fiction, so like I read like a lot. So like I feel like I have a good idea of how to write a book.
So is the author just gonna be an alias, or is it just gonna be like Harry
Yeah,
or
it'd just
something?
be like no, it would be a pen name. If it were Harry, then it'd be like, then you just look at Harry, you're like, he's not writing, what's going on?
Then
What
I'd
kind
have
of
to read
fiction do you
books
like?
so I can answer questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Name 3 of your your favorite fiction books, or like that come to your head that you really like.
The Iron Prince, The Land, and Reborn Apocalypse.
I never heard of those books. So what kind of genre is that?
Um,
Or like in like
mostly fantasy.
like
Or
what's like there's tons of fantasy. So like what's like post-apocalyptic is it like high fantasy? Is it something like Game of Thrones where it's like not really like high like magic or whatever? It's like more realistic.
Gonna
yeah,
dig it out.
just go read the description, man.
All right.
Hey, how about any nonfiction? I know Miss Kia, she likes nonfiction, anything like that, other than.
Yeah, I've read David Goggins' autobiography or biography, I guess.
Can't
That
hurt
was-
me, right?
Yeah, I Can't Hurt Me. Yeah.
Um, unless somebody suggests me like a nonfiction book and I really, really like that, I would read it. But other than that, I would pick up a fictional
Okay.
book.
All right, Sam, how about you? How are you steaming yourself? How are you building your king archetype?
It's a lot of fun. Well, right now I think I'm more online with the hero archetype, where you're trying to fight the dragon, and then that enters you into the king archetype. I had a fear of driving for a while, and I drove Tuesday, and that was nerve-wracking, but that's just part of being a dude with your responsibilities, and you got to just do them.
Mhm.
And after that, well, I wouldn't say I'm without a king archetype, but as I mentioned, I'm going to be owning this home. My plan for this is, well, it's a trailer, so you can actually like cut it in half, and you could just take it somewhere else with you. And my plan is to get several acres with like trees and stuff, plop it in
Nice.
there, get like a nice garage. I'm basically a hermit, but like I like to make things. I like to discover stuff. Earlier today, I was actually doing some leather working. Made
Ooh.
some bracelets
Nice.
That's sick.
for the
That's
show.
awesome.
Cool.
And I'm gonna plan on discovering other things. I've done a little bit of metal stuff, but like once I get like a forge, that'll be a lot cleaner looking. Plan on throwing glass in there, and generally all sorts of other activities and crafts. My plan
You
also.
mentioned too. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was saying you mentioned too that you were like a lead in at your job or something.
Yeah, I go around and I kind of manage the other factory operators, make sure their parts are going okay, and if they need help with anything.
That's pretty great. It's 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
And
awesome.
a half. Does that change
Yeah,
anything?
oh, man, yeah. So do you plan on becoming an entrepreneur and just leveraging like what you're doing on the side to
Yeah,
be
I've
an
got
entrepreneur?
that. I'm learning under C.S. Joseph right now.
Nice.
Right now, most of my studies are related towards YouTube and seeing how algorithms work and that kind of stuff. My plan is March 20th, exactly March 20th, because that's the beginning of the spring. Right now, I'm kind of hibernating, if you will, reflecting, studying, and then action because it's spring and you're not as sleepy, tired, or lazy. You're just ready to go. That's my plan.
Nice.
And one more thing with the king archetype is that one thing that I loved about the king archetype that you guys didn't mention was the almost anointingness of the king, where it's like, it'll the king will find its subjects and uplift them into higher positions. And I enjoy doing this even with the little squabbles that I have. I bought my brother basically a tattoo gun, and hopefully he's going to be doing some of his own entrepreneurial things with that. Just outright a gift.
Right, sharing your resources with other
Awesome.
people. Makes
Mhm.
sense.
Great.
Yep.
All right, I will move on now. Miss Kiha, it is your turn again. We're gonna go back to the relationship stuff. So,
Yeah.
would you rather? I think based on your culture, I think we're gonna have a good idea of how you're gonna answer this. But would you rather submit to your man and let him lead, or would you rather have equal footing with him?
Okay, well, I'm gonna opt for the longer answer here. So
Good.
growing up, growing up, I used to believe in an equal relationship where I would have like the same kind of responsibilities, the same kind of decision making, capabilities and stuff. And I was very adamant on that, and I would argue with my ENTP father about it, with my ESTP mother about it, and with my INTP uncle about it, who was also a very remarkable influence in my childhood. And I kept arguing with them and debating with them, and while I was kind of observing how relationships work in my country and in my society. And then I stumbled onto CSJ's work, and he was like that one missing puzzle that kind of made everything come together. And then my NI went zoom. Oh, now I know how to do that. I'm gonna let my man lead. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Awesome. That's the journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Journey. Yeah.
Awesome. So you started off when you started off thinking you wanted equal responsibility. What exactly? Can you give me like a couple examples of like what you wanted equal footing on?
The flow.
Well, to be very honest, I had fears of abandonment, and I would think that if I was completely devoted and submitted to a man, he might misuse it or abuse it. And that was the belief that kind of stemmed that sort of mentality within me, that maybe I should have some sort of control in my relationship so that I don't get over.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and you said Chase and like all these other masculine figures in your life were the people who helped you get over that hump.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's a very important point to note.
Hard to submit to men if all the men are trash.
Mhm.
So,
Very true.
Yes, because it's a very common theme, especially with NTJ women, to be paranoid of submitting
Mhm.
because they don't want to be dependent on someone because they're so pragmatic. And also their NE is like critic or nemesis. So makes
Mhm.
sense.
which is it? No.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
You tell me.
Oh, they said INTJ. Okay.
No, I said NTJ, but
Oh, okay.
you're good. All right, on to the next question. Beef boy.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide on which one I want to ask here.
And
Ooh.
I
So,
trick
yeah.
Here, what
Yeah,
if we
let's,
do the relationship one?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. What do you guys think? What do you think a woman can get out of being in a relationship with you guys? You guys go one at a time. I'm not gonna like make you go in order or anything.
That's a good question. That's a like that's the real spicy one this so far.
Right hook.
Yeah, I'm a bunch of jabs. Yeah.
I don't know, something like a good time probably. I got security in my future.
Okay.
I like doing fun things. I like getting out of my comfort zone. That's what I live for, I guess. I like having a good time, so we'd go do fun things. and you'd have
Alright.
lots of options.
I know a lot of the gents are young here. So let's try and ask the question this way. What do
Yeah.
you think you can provide the woman? Because you guys have a lot of goals, apparently, right?
Mhm.
You guys have a lot of stuff you want to do, right? So if you have a lot of things that you want to accomplish, then what about those things that you want to accomplish? What do you think you can provide to a woman that another person or another man couldn't?
Mm. Yeah, what sets you apart? Crickets.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
or
Okay.
that's,
I'll give it a
that's kind of
shot.
like the best. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Well, it's mostly a goal right now because like right now I really don't have much to offer, but it's just like, what's in the line for 2, 3, 5 years.
Right.
One of the ideas that I have for the trailer moving and getting it on like a plot of land is I want to have like almost a communion or a homestead, and that's my goal. Is I'm mostly concerned about my legacy and my family.
Right.
I have a simple story where some of the ideas were starting to click, but I live with
Who
my
you living in that community?
Oh, it's not there yet, but it's like that's the idea. My brother originally had the idea of it, but my actually pushing for it because he has that inferior, so he's kind of flaky on it. But my push on it. But my parents had their dishwasher broke, and they were like, how are we gonna afford this? We're like so tight on our budget. Like I was living with them, and I was like, I'll just pay for it. And it seems like one of those things where it's like, if everyone's stuck paying rent and can barely afford their expenses, no one can afford anything when things break. And just that idea, like if I was living on my own and my parents were also living on their own and their thing broke, well, I'm too busy paying rent to be able to help fix their stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like, wow, what if we just band together? And it's not going to be like a giant house. It's just going to be like separate, smaller areas. So we still have our privacy, but we can still like share bread, basically in a big barn house. That's what my brother wants. And I'm like, that sounds great. I like that.
Right. So if you do have a woman in your life, she can get the benefits or reap the benefits of being in a large community like that, a tribe.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
We get direct.
kids will develop better too if they're more psyches around, right?
Exactly. And like,
Right.
I know my mom's going to be in on it. So, you'll have a matriarch, right? Me and FJ.
I mean,
Great.
Oh,
and
nice.
for the audience, I hope at least the audience realizes that the nuclear family, if it's in action right now and it's not really working out too well. I mean,
The nuclear
50%
family is
of
dog shit.
exactly.
Nuclear family
It's
is good, but it needs like we're tribal based creatures. Like we need the nuclear family is too small. It's still important, and like everyone in your tribal family is gonna have a nuclear family, right? Like there's like that connection's like a real thing, but they're missing the point is that we're more so like we're supposed to be like having a good like friends that are like good family like for like 100 people about like I don't remember the exact like the tribal figure, but we're supposed to have like a lot of connections and like relationships with a bunch of people. But I think that's why the nuclear family is bad. Not that it's bad, it's just that the government, like if you're at Sapiens, like the government has taken over like that kind of like parenting, like school,
right.
other shit, like so that's what's the real bad thing.
Also,
It's the
Jimmy,
acting.
you were gonna say something before Sam started talking about his community.
Oh, so I think Sam has like a really like awesome dream. I think that's like really cool. But the question was, what separates you from other? Like, what can you provide that no one else could? Right? I don't think that's a realistic thing because even if like you're a millionaire, like you're the best version of a man, like that's not really original or unique. Like other people have accomplished that. So
Right,
I was
but
kind of
He didn't say being a millionaire was his unique part.
I know I was just giving that as an example. Like everything that's like Sam like talked about, like it's great. It's like and everything, but there's nothing that takes away from it. But anything that you can like think of as like part of like what I think will separate me is not really like separating like maybe like separating from like the general crowd of everyone, right? But it's not like it's like generally like unique. 'Cause,
right.
like what do you like?
It's just about
I
being
think
a higher value man, right? Like you're not gonna.
Mhm.
It's when I was mentioning separation, I wasn't saying, oh, you have to be different from everyone else. What I was trying to say is, what can you provide to this woman that a big chunk of the male population couldn't?
I'm
Right?
gonna
It's like
live in a
a
hot air balloon.
generalization.
The
No, I'm
alpha
just
seed.
I mean, if you make that happen, I should be invited too. Honestly, I'm
You're always invited. Yeah. No, I mean, so I'm SDSF INTP, right? That means I'm triple discovery focused. But I have gone through stages in my life where I've been purpose focused and I've really thought about different things I want to accomplish. I know we've talked about opening up, but these things are a bit NDA for me, so I will not share them. But I do have some big dreams in regards to starting things. Like I'm basically trying to be an ESFJ, right? That's what SDSF basically means. So I am very interested in starting a few companies and seeing where that goes. And basically, I'm planning on helping the world out a lot and hopefully making a lot of money while doing it. So that's my
great.
goals.
Also, what would be the opposite word for nuclear family? A conjoined family?
I think it's just a
Mm.
tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
tribal family.
Yeah.
So when I was born, after that, I was raised around my mother and my uncles and my aunts, and I have 6 aunts. All right. So I was around them and I was exposed to multiple psyche, which is why I think it was easier for me kind of to be developing my unconscious, because I'm a UDSF INTJ. And so what I've seen is that because of my mother and my uncles and my uncle and my aunties, I can kind of mimic FE. I wouldn't say I have good FE. That is not on me, but I can, if I want to perform, I can be polite or like strive to be polite. But and then when I turned like 16, my mother decided to move away from that tribal family and get a house of her own, and that is actually when kind of existing or like growing up got a little harder, given that my ENTP father was not around. He was conducting business in another country. So I could also vouch for a family where where there are like multiple members and the children can kind of socialize and kind of interact with different kind of personality types, both women. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
one thing I'd like to add. One, how do I phrase it? Part of my crafting is I enjoy making things like the bracelets, and I'm gonna make little like metal elms and stuff like that. But I want to decorate my bitch like a Christmas tree.
Decorate my what?
I want to decorate my woman in various sorts of jewels and gems and stuff that I make.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
What about you, Charlie?
Yes,
Yeah?
Charlie.
We got one more guy.
Yeah. Of
Or
course.
get out.
Keep trying to avoid it. No, so I would provide the alpha seed. I'm gonna be honest. I would
Let's go.
yeah, dude.
That was actually the follow-up question. But
Okay, well,
sure, just take it away. Take it away.
thank you.
Just optimized.
Yeah. That's pessimistic. No, okay. Anyways, I think I'm gonna be a millionaire by at least 34. So there you go. And then
Yeah.
I've got this. I'm gonna be a stock bro. I guess the right answer to your question though is like, what can you provide for them? Is like, well, a really good shared experience, right? Because that's what SE users want. But anyways.
Can I pose a question, please?
Go for it.
All right. How much should it matter to you guys about how much your woman cares about wealth and money in general?
Good question.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
don't
it does
intend to
matter.
go
Was it
broke.
cares about wealth? Cut out for me.
So basically, how much would you like your women to care about wealth and luxury and like the lavish side of spending and wealth, just wealth in general?
Lavish is a weird one because it's like I prefer more rustic styling and that type of stuff. I don't care about Bugattis. I don't even care about cars. I want like
Right.
wood walls and I want just antique things. So I'm not
Mhm.
sure where that comes into the equation, but
So
we're
it
up.
would.
I grew up in a Templar household. Like they're basically all stoners.
Alright, get some
I'm
stoner
just
now,
like
guys.
a starving Irish man for a reason.
All
So
right. Great.
I guess Sam, what Ms. Kia's asking us, if you had a woman, would you how much would you want her to care about money?
I've got a good amount. It's like, if I'm going through the effort of getting the money, I want it to be appreciated instead of like, oh, I'm just here for your personality. It's like, no, that means getting the stuff is part of my personality
Okay.
too.
But you don't want it to be the opposite extreme too, where she's just spoiled and she is only, trying to take
Oh yeah, that's
advantage of
annoying.
She's
Right.
gold digging, yeah.
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 All right, Harry.
Sorry.
Miss Kia's question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I don't think it's like, I hope that I do make a good amount of money and we can go do fun things together based on that amount of money.
Mhm.
I don't really care too much about whether they value money or not. I mean, as long as they value me and what I do, like, sounds good to me. And as long as both of us are committed to continuous improvements, because I think that's what makes life exciting and interesting. That's what I would value personally.
Great. Yeah, I like that.
Let's go.
Good answer.
All right,
What
Jimmy.
about you, Jimmy?
I'm kind of with Harry, where like I don't think it like matters that much as long as like like either extremes. Like I want you to appreciate it, but I don't want you to like like if I have the money, like I'm gonna like take care of my girl, but I don't want it to be a thing where it's just like it's like an expectation. She can't take it for granted, and she has to be like respectful of like how much money do you really have, and like if something's currently out of our budget, like it's like we're like I don't want it to be like we're a team, so like obviously like I'm gonna pull like whatever like resources I have into like the team, but at the same time like as part of the like it's like a group thing.
Okay, so if
So
you
I
want it to
don't
be
I
a
don't
team, my question is, if you want it to be a team, what do you expect her to do?
It's a good question.
that is a good question. I really like that question. So I expect her to do is that I want her to be respectful to my family. Like I would want her to be part of my family. Like I would want her to come to like all the family shit that like I have. Like yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna be kind of annoying, but like deal with it. Like I want her to I want us to be like close, like intimate, but I don't like just doing whatever like she can, Like I only know like this basic stuff. Like I don't think I have enough experience to like know the finer details of like what I learned, what I don't like, or what I do like.
Right.
So as long as like as long as she's trying, like I can tell that like she's trying, then I
Like she's
I
trying to
don't think
make
it
your
really
life
matters.
easier.
Yeah, where she can.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, Charlie. Do you care if your woman cares about money?
I think to a certain extent, you kind of have to care.
Right.
I think it's a good thing to care. I think if you care, then you're probably gonna make more money. But if you care too, so I guess we can draw a line at like if I have to take you out to the theater every weekend, and we're living in New York, it's I'm not doing that. You're gone. Bye. If we're just like
There's
going
the
out,
alpha.
like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to say once a month because it also depends at what stage of the life like I'm in because like if I am like right now, like I just got out of college. I do not have a lot of money yet. Like if you wanted to do a bunch of expensive stuff right now, I would be much more inclined to say no. But like later in life, like I'd be like, yeah, let's go have fun. I don't know.
Okay. All right, so the money, that money question is really focused on the security side still, I feel like. So I'm going to ask a follow-up. What do you guys think, this is for the gents, what do you guys think you can do to, okay, so we're getting money. Like, you guys all want money. It's great. I want money too. Who doesn't want money? Okay, but what could you guys do? Wait, what did you say, Miss Kia?
So I was cracking a joke. I'm an INTJ woman. I want money too.
Of course. Exactly. What do you think you guys could provide to maintain the spark or excitement in your relationship? Because let's be honest, guys, like women don't want to be with a boring person, and also there are a lot of boring shits out there who make money, and women still don't want to be with them. So
True
what
that.
do you guys? What's the fun part? What's the
Discovery, of course.
You gotta.
Okay,
Hey,
True.
that's
Like-
let's go.
Oh, I like going on adventures. Harry said that, and it's just like, yeah, discovery and just going out and doing things. Like going out in nature is fun. Like building sandcastles. Just do a bunch of stupid, random things. Just sounds so entertaining with someone that you care about.
Okay.
Gingerbread houses. That's another fun one I had in my head before. There's a list.
Cute.
So yeah, I mean, talking about maintaining the spark, I've been reading a book called Mating in Captivity, right? That talks about how when you get too close to someone, there's not enough room for like mystery and eroticism to stay there.
Right.
So as well as wanting to practice continuous improvement, hopefully she does as well. I might also, probably will have more than one wife, just because I think that sounds more fun. And then she'll have instant friends. Like there we go. Like
Okay,
that
so
she can talk to
my
whenever she
question there. The first point you mentioned, to create distance when you feel like you're getting too close, right? To maintain like some kind of energy. What will you be doing? Well, you just mentioned one thing, like polygyny. What else, or is that like the main thing? Like, okay, like if I have multiple women, I can spread my attention between all of them, and then that way, like I'm not close to one in particular. Like, what else?
Well, I'm a busy guy. My attention is not always available.
Right.
So that will help.
What do you
I
think
mean-
will happen? What do you think will happen? Or this is just for anyone. What do you think will happen if you give too much attention to your woman? What do you think the consequences of that will be?
I'll
mean,
probably miss my
familiarity.
forge.
Just for me or for her?
For the relationship.
I guess Jay is trying to convey is that how would you kind of play that little game with multiple women that you're gonna have?
Right.
So are you gonna take for them to kind of keep the cat and mouse game, like the running chasing going, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a passionate guy. I'm heart temple focused. Just go where the passion is, really. I don't think it's super hard. Then like, if like one of my women is disrespectful to me for some reason, something random happened, it's like I can withdraw my attention a little bit and say, hey, I didn't like that or something, and then I give it more to another one. And then I think most of these problems just kind of solve themselves. I don't know if there's anything specific that I have to think about.
Got it.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy and Charlie are left. So whoever wants to go, what do you guys think you can do to provide spark, excitement in a relationship?
Well, familiarity is what kills like sexual tension in like long-term relationships, right? So, like reading like Rollo Tomasi right now, he's saying like it's like because it sounds like intimidating, right? Like like as you like in a long-term relationship, people like you just learn more about each other and stuff like that. And it's like you don't want to like constantly like trying to like create this like superficial sense of like mystery or whatever, but it's really not even that difficult. It's really like like what Harry said, like just constantly self-improving. Like that's kind of like it keeps the competition anxiety so alive, because like a girl can be like, wow, like like he's lazy or he's fat. Like, what other girl would want him? And there's like it's like she takes like she'll start taking you for granted also. So just like okay, so constant self-improvement, and also like kind of doing your own thing. Also, like don't be like hella predictable. Like have still your own like goals and whatever. Don't be like like still be in your frame. Don't like be in her frame.
Gotcha. What about you,
Should we
Charlie?
talk?
Oh, sorry.
Should we? So the interview and the technical test, we all like talk about the definition of frames, right?
Yes.
So I don't think we've talked about it, Matt. Do you think there's?
So I was actually just gonna bring that
Okay.
up. I was just gonna bring that up. So just wait, Charlie.
Just
Give me
wait.
1 second.
Cease.
1 second.
Yeah.
You're too quick.
Okay, so I was actually talking to Harry the other day about this, like in what I want to do with my life, and I think taking a risk, I think that would be bring a lot of excitement and dread maybe, but those would probably be two good emotions for the relationship. So I don't really know. I don't really have a good idea of what, but it could be anything, I think, as long as it's not too risky.
Yeah.
Serious. I like it.
Like I don't know.
All right. So Jamie brought up a good point, the whole frame thing. So I was just gonna bring up, and you gents brought up like solid points. The biggest thing though is I don't want the audience to get confused. Like we're not trying to manipulate the women we are in relationships with, or we're not trying to on purpose trying to make them think that, oh, we're gonna withdraw our attention away because we want to keep that's not how it works. It's not how it works. And Jamie brought up a good point about frame. And the point is that if a man is living his own life the way he wants to, and it's going in a direction where he is in control of his own circumstances, and he is taking the lead in his own life, automatically it will create this dread or this competition anxiety that the gents mentioned. So it's not something that happens because you want to do it. It's a byproduct of you living a healthy life as a man. Just want to make that clear. Beefcake, I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
Please help me.
No, let's ask Kia a question. What do
Oh,
you
can I have one
think?
more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
On the idea of the attention, generally when someone disrespects you, you should probably withdraw your attention to something else.
Right.
It doesn't have to be just like a significant other. It could be like, oh, your brother, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna go away for a little bit. Or if it's like, oh, this project's not working well, just step back, do something else for a little bit.
Right.
It's fine. It's impartial.
So Kia, what do you think a man is going to get out of a relationship with you? What is something that you're going to provide that maybe another woman wouldn't?
I am generally very sensitive to the needs of the people that I love. May it be my brother, my mother, my father. So my man would be receiving the same kind of treatment. So while I get to know him, I start going out with him and I start get to know him more. I would basically start kind of studying and observing him like a book to see what he might need, what I could add. Like let's say that there is this one essential oil that might help him with his headaches, right? I would just give him that and I'd be like, hey, maybe apply this before you go to bed. So something similar to this in all aspects of life.
Right.
And also knowing the fact that women have better perception. So sometimes if I see some kind of curveball coming from the future, I would be like, hey, just a heads up, I see this happening. And then rest. Yeah.
Awesome. You guys like that?
Yeah,
I love
definitely
input. Yeah,
thing.
juicy
Awesome.
input. Let's go.
All right.
I like that.
I do too.
Well, let's ask Kia another question. What is talking about your care for your family as well as your potential partner. I'm assuming he's gonna become number one over time, or maybe number one in the beginning. But what is submission to you?
Submission to me. So, in my opinion, it feels like what I've seen in my observation to other women and me and myself is that when a woman is truly kind of locked in and in love, is kind of dazed over this one person, they kind of automatically submit to them. It's kind of like a visceral reaction, like a switch. So when I'm kind of getting to know a guy, that is something I try to follow within myself, is that, hey, like, am I falling in love? Because I know if that is happening, then it would be very natural and very easy for me to kind of submit to him. So that's like the primary point. And then I look for outside resources to see what submission could be. Just being a pragmatic and a systematic person, I can also learn that from by observing women, married women like Stephanie, and then reading books. Yeah.
Nice.
Got you.
You guys have any input to that?
Respect is important. It's like you start
Number
with
one,
respect.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so on the respect part, is that when a woman truly submits to you and is in love with you, respect is kind of like a product. It's not something that even has to be questioned. So this is why maybe it didn't kind of come into my mind, is that if a woman is truly in love with a man, she just respects him.
I have a counter to that, actually. So there's a lot of Western women. This is different in your culture, but there's a lot of Western women who, even with the mentality that they have, they fall in love, but being respectful and being feminine isn't something you could just turn on, and like you can't just automatically like submit.
Okay, so I was getting there. So like, with the women's menstrual cycles and how their behavior changes, I'm not saying that that respect is going to be consistent, because that is something I've seen in myself, in my aunties, in my mother, and just women in general. I've kind of seen that happening. So, and this is where like the feminine brings the chaos to the masculine. The masculine has to kind of make everything stable and be the king archetype, right? So it's kind of like I would want to be managed so that my chaos is basically in check, and then over time it becomes kind of like a structure. And I guess this is why when one woman is kind of being chaotic, you can go opt for stability when you have another woman. So so this is why, this is one of the reasons I would kind of support polygyny, and yeah, like sister-wise support.
Awesome. So Miss Kia is supportive of polygyny. Fantastic. But you brought up a good point. With the woman's respect might not be consistent all the time, and she might get chaotic. We call those shit tests, men. You better be ready. Better be ready to handle those shit tests.
Yeah, my plan is just keep doing whatever I do and just not worry about it.
That's really what it is.
It's like that, the one moment in Fairy Odd Parents where Trixie and Timmy were dating, and then, she was mad at Timmy and he's just like this. And she's like, I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring you.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that meme.
Don't ignore me while I'm ignoring you. And it's just like,
yeah, exactly like that. Art imitates reality.
Right. A lot
I
of
mean,
good
the shit
quotes.
test is like a. I'm not sure if Roll came up with it or I was reading in his book, and it's all it is just like a part of like the power dynamics of relationships, like who needs the other more.
Mhm.
So like
Yep.
what a shit test is like when a woman's using her like, polygamy to see like who's in charge. Like she's testing out the waters. Like who like do I need him? Like does he need me more than I need him? So that's kind of like what the pass the shit test. You just even if like even if you are a little insecure, you just like realize that you just keep doing what you're doing. You know, like it's not that it's all about like the power, like whatever. I don't want it to be like that, but like yeah, just like keep doing
Right.
what
You're
you're
not
doing.
actively thinking about the power dynamics in the current moment, like when it actually happens. It's just it's there and we're aware of it, like outside of that situation. But when it's actually happening, you just have to be confident in your own decisions as a man, right?
Just
Like
because you don't see it doesn't mean other people don't.
exactly.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think shit tests are about power dynamics. More so as is this man strong enough to handle the suffering that is life, and will he cave easily? But
I mean, I'm just going off. I was just reading the Rational Mail today because I knew we were doing this. That was just like I literally just learned about the shit test, so I was going
He
off the
crammed
book.
into it.
I'm not sure if
I,
You
like
know, like,
I'm glad you came
like thinking,
educated.
yeah, thinking about
Sounds
that too, Harry. Like, what do you think if you're living like you should be or correctly, you know, her opportunity for shit tests are probably going to be less or should be less, correct?
yeah, it's just
So,
usually like when you meet them,
yeah.
mostly, right? I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, but usually if the women don't grow up in like a controlled cultural environment, like a lot of women in the Western world right now, they don't know how to be feminine, they don't know how to submit, and they don't know how to show respect. And they think that when they find that one man who can provide everything that they've ever wanted to them, that they can just automatically just flip on a switch and that they'll just be feminine. That's not how it works. You need
Well, and
practice.
submission itself, the word has taken on a negative connotation
Right.
in Western
Yeah.
culture.
As a woman, you need to learn how to submit to your family, the men in your family, your brothers, your fathers. All of that is learned through fathers and masculine role models in your life. And that's with that, with those habits ingrained with you, or those the practice that you have. That's what helps you be feminine with the man that you eventually want to be with.
Yeah,
So
so just to show appreciation, um, um, being aware of the fact that my father was an ENTP and my favorite uncle was an INTP, and to know that they were like compatible with me, and I had the opportunity to be raised by them and to be disciplined by them. I am truly really grateful for that, and sometimes I like ponder on it, and I'm like, wow.
I was
awesome.
literally lucky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You feel like Crusader Man.
All right, I think, and then the last question for the men.
Ooh.
Can you, well, we already talked about frame, but you guys can talk about your own frame, right? So can you describe your own frame, but also additional points?
Ooh.
How can a woman qualify for you, right? Because we talked about, okay, like what does Miss Kia want from a relationship, right? But like, what can a woman do? So you guys will give the thumbs up. Like, what do you want? What does your life look like, and how do you want your woman to qualify into that life?
I mean, I don't really have standards versus like I find her attractive. She's like has a good heart. She wants me. I can tell that. Like we just like have like that basic chemistry where it's like we just get along, kind of like the friend, like you have that like friendly chemistry, like you used to have chemistry. But
Right.
like besides any like other like concrete like criteria, I don't really have that.
Gotcha. What about you, Sam?
So my frame is basically under the context of building towards that community style housing that I want. I have a mentality where it's like I think my frame is solid, but I like dynamic. That's just how I think. through everything. Like even this bracelet has loops on it, so I could take this INTP logo off, and I can put something else there. That's just the way that I think, because I like to have as much customization as I want, and I am willing to just have a mentality, not just with women, but anyone, where it's like, come to the table, whatever you are, I'll find something for you. You know, if you have a a finance background, it's like, I can get you hooked up with some tax stuff to do, or overlook the budget, or it's
Do my taxes.
or it's like, oh, I just want to be a house mom stuff. It's like, okay, there's plenty of that stuff too. Or it's like, oh, well, I did programming. It's like, well, I can, my side business need a website. It's just one of those things where it's like, that helps. But other than that,
you want them to be involved.
Yeah, I like group efforts. I like trying to get my brother involved with some of the stuff that I'm doing, where we had like stuffed animals that we were making, and I basically designed the patterns, and he did a lot of the stitch work.
Nice.
Just trying to find something, and I delegating. That's a lot of fun.
It's the factory in him.
Yep.
ENTJ,
I lead factory.
The leadership, yeah. That's good.
What about you, Harry?
Oh, I wasn't done.
Oh, my bad. Keep going.
So that's just like, the working toward the aspects, but as far as like just specific traits for female, Dommy Mommy helps. God help. Not. We can work on
ENTJs
that.
have that, right?
Not there. But
Can I also add to my
Yeah,
I want.
for it. Well, after Sam's done.
I want like enthusiasm, where I'm like, I like my adventures. I like to be excited about the stuff that I do. And, I don't want to make something like this bracelet and just have the person be like, oh, that was cool. It's like, no, this is me. I put myself into this. Get excited.
Right.
Be excited about me decorating you like a Christmas tree. That type of thing. And, stoked to go on adventures. Like, like, hey, going dancing? Yeah, that sounds great. Building sandcastles? Sounds great. But yeah, so it's like either help me with my type of businesses or like housewife. I don't want you to have a boss, basically. It's just like, no. A lot of rough experiences. My sister getting
sounds like you
in workplaces. My mom made one mistake, and then she was worried about getting fired. I'm not sure how realistic that was, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Mm-hmm. Won't be my family for sure.
So Jimmy, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I kind of talked about this earlier, but I have to care about, like, I want her to, like, try to integrate herself in my family as much as I would like family is important to me. I want family to be important to her. And also, like, the whole, like, the team thing, like, I don't want it to be where people take, like, each other for granted. Like, I want us, like, all like help each other, like, not just like each of us grow independently, but we like help each other grow and like help each other like get better.
So basically be in servitude of your mother. So like the love that you have for your parents, you kind of want that to reflect through me too. And when our parents kind of grow old, it's a better option to be taking care of them myself rather than sending them to a old age or something like that.
100%.
Yeah, is that something you're like looking for?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
yeah,
I know like some people like they don't have like good family where they deserve it, but like at least like for me, like I have like a loving family, like they've done everything for us. Like of course I'm gonna like take care of them. Like I'm not gonna send them to some nursing home. Like, oh, thanks for helping me my entire life. Now like bye, I don't want to deal with it. No, of course not.
Take the thought of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
a lot of
that's
people.
important to me.
A lot of people have the mentality of just letting go of everything that made them or like help them be who they are. Like your parents, your family helped you get to the point where you are now. And sure, you're not obligated to do anything for them, but it kind of shows your character not taking responsibility for some people who have supported you, even if it's a little bit. If you can help them in any way, you should.
And also, I add that it's not like I've had the most flowery relationship with my parents, right?
Right.
Because that's the journey. That's the journey. But that doesn't mean that I have to abandon them, you know?
Right.
Because, well, even let's say my parents gave me hell, which they didn't, but let's just say that they gave me hell. But they still gave me the gift of life. So I need to, just from the goodness of the heart, just give something back, at least. Maybe not see them be very diseased, right? Like with like hardcore diseases and stuff. Like, why would I want to see that? Yeah.
Right.
Like, see
Right.
them in
That'd
a
be
bad
like another benefit of communal living, also.
Yep.
Right, Sam?
right.
Sorry, I was lighting my cigar. What?
I said that would be another benefit of communal living.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one of the
Yeah.
ideas is I talk about with my mom, where it's like, you know, I want you to have some kind of retirement plan, and she's like, "Can I get a water review?" And I'm like, "No promises."
All right, Harry.
So yeah, in my family growing up, my dad, who recently found out is an ISTJ, I'm very excited about that, had a certain value where basically, you know, like in America, people like a lot of people have college funds. They're like, all right, well, save a bunch of money so we can pay for college. My dad didn't like this idea. He's like, no, what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend all that money on you now, so that you're so good that this college wants you to be there and gives you a scholarship. And this worked out pretty well. Both Charlie and I are going to graduate debt free, so that speaks for
Awesome.
itself, I suppose. We did a lot of soccer, we did a lot of music, we did a bunch of other cool stuff. Lived in Spain for a year. It was really awesome. That is a value that I want to continue. I also know that like studying like history and stuff, a lot of really powerful men that were really busy all the time did not have good children. And I don't want that to happen. So I want to have a woman who's going to be able to really make sure that my children grow to the best they can possibly grow to. And whatever it takes to get there is fine. Other ways, like I'm an any user. You can do whatever you want. So
As long as you're comfortable with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it's not a hell no, then yeah, go for it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I like to say.
Yeah. And then
So,
Sam's idea too of not like I don't want them to have some other boss that they listen to before me, because I don't want that to get around or get in the way of my boundaries in the relationship. So
right. So like, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Okay.
Fine. Charlie, I guess you're last. If you remember, let us know.
Yeah, can you just repeat the question real quick?
Describe your frame. How can a woman qualify for you?
So I think a big one is like respect, but like earned respect. So if they're like telling me, "Oh, you're so great," for like reasons like that aren't true, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I don't like you." But like if it's like, "Oh, you accomplished this thing and that was amazing," and that's and like I don't know, and they just respect you for it. That's I'm honestly that's huge. That'd mean a lot.
So you want her to be, you want her to appreciate your achievements,
Yeah, and I
You want her
think
to be genuine.
right?
Sounds
Authentic.
like.
I also I have some goals that would be fun to do with her. Like well I want to climb to Mount Everest base camp, and I'm probably going to do
Hey,
that like pretty
let's
soon,
go.
like next 2 years. But that'd be
That's
like
awesome.
a fun thing to do again, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, just be give me a good experience, and you know we'll get along just fine.
I like comfy.
All right. Well, those are all the questions we have for you guys, but we're gonna top it off. You know, you got to put the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with Miss Kia. Okay. Final questions for you. We're gonna go through all the guys, all the gents, and you're gonna tell me or us if can you respect so and so's frame. So do you think you can be in a relationship with that person and respect the life that they are living slash the life that they are going to establish in the future? And I guess you can start with Harry, and then I'll name the other ones later.
So I say yes or no, and then I give you reasons.
Sure, yes or no, and then whatever comes to your mind. Yeah.
Okay, so Harry seems like I can respect his frame, and I also see that our values match. So yes. And then to
Jimmy.
Jimmy, I do think we also have similar values, and I can submit to him. So he's also a yes. Samwise is also a yes because we're both family oriented. And unfortunately, with Charlie, I cannot respect his frames because I think we'll be clashing.
Interesting. Why do you think you'll be clashing?
Um, so I'm more about giving feedbacks rather than kind of tending to somebody else's emotions. It's not necessarily something, it's a muscle I need to be working on. And I don't think it would be in his best interests and in mine too, to be performing for him, because what I can perceive is that I'd be doing a terrible job at it.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
might be
I
like
have a feeling you're
incompatibility.
Vicky.
Yeah.
That's a respectful answer. That's good.
Thank you. And okay. So you got 3 people you said yes to. So out of those 3, which one do you trust to meet your desires, and who would you want to submit to the most?
Harry.
Okay.
Harry. Okay. Nice.
And what's the reasoning for that?
I think I've already mentioned it. We have
Okay.
similar values, and I think I can submit to him, and I can let him lead the most out of these 3 gentlemen.
Gotcha. All right, and then for the men, Beefcake, do the honors.
Yeah, so this Kia has selected you, Harry. Actually, we'll save Harry for last. How about that? Just out of you guys, let's go ahead and ask you all the same question or a similar question. Is Kia someone you could see yourself with, Sam?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And how so? Like, you want to
I think-
expand?
Yeah, so the value, like with the respect on, the communal living, that sounds great because I don't have to explain it, because I don't think it'd go very well in the West to explain that. It's like, oh, you still want to live with your parents? It's like, no, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Mhm.
Right.
And Jimmy?
I mean, yeah, I definitely would. Like, we share a lot of the same values. Like, I can tell she's really family focused, and I really respect that. At the same time, like I was like from just like this meeting, 100% yeah, but we also have to need time to get to know each other. Also, I feel like
Right.
well that.
All right, Charlie.
I'll just say I'm really glad you said no to someone. Otherwise, it would have, I don't know. But yeah,
I mean, you want her to be honest, right?
yeah, like
Yeah,
otherwise it would be
that's
like, oh,
authentic
okay,
for sure.
I got nothing to work on. All right, well, no, yeah, but I actually yeah, I would have said yes. I mean, I still would say yes, but that's fine. Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't change your answer just because she said no to you.
Yeah, that would have been a little petty, wouldn't it? Though?
Yeah. So
He passes
job
the
for doing
character
that.
test.
passes the
Mr.
Sultan.
typical character test.
Yeah.
Hey, if he
All
wants
right, and,
authenticity, he better be authentic. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, 100%.
Harry.
All right, Harry, and Harry, you're last, but not least, obviously. Let's. So Miss Kia picked you, and I'll just let's go with the catchphrase: dumpster fire or heart's desire. Would you put a ring on it?
I think I would, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm very
success.
impressed. I've seen a lot of different kinds of women, and I'd say I'm very impressed with Miss Kiha. I think she's got
Thank you.
very
Thank
feminine
you.
women.
Beefcake. Me and you. Matchmaking service.
Yeah. Yeah, we win. Yes, we did something right?
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, so that will be the end of the show, guys. Thank you for the audience for coming. Hope you guys learned something. Again, the intention of the show was to obviously demonstrate the content that Chase talks about and also refers to in his reading. So we will be having shows like this in the future if we have good feedback on this. So please do leave your feedback down in the comments or in the live chat. We'll probably be taking a look at both, especially while this is airing live. So
Yeah,
awesome.
I'd like to say thanks again to Chase, Stephanie, and then also our contestants here and everybody working in on the back end on this thing. So thank you guys very much for participating. It's been
Yeah, it was
really
fun.
fun.
Yes, thank you guys. Takes a lot of balls.
Thanks for having us.
I
Yeah.
hope the viewers
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, hopefully, I think they will.
Leave a like and a comment.
Yeah, like,
so-
comment,
like
that
subscribe,
subscribe
join
button.
the Discord server.
Yes,
If,
join the
if you're not on
Discord server.
Discord, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. What are you even doing, man?
Awesome. All right, cool guys. We'll see you all later.
Yeah.
Hey,
Peace.
thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
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 See ya.